Hola amigos, bueno, este es el primer video larguito que voy a estar haciendo para mi canal. Este video va a ser simplemente una introducción más detallada. ¿Quién cresta soy yo? ¿Cómo llegué aquí? ¿Por qué empezó este canal? Etcétera. Y para contarles un poquitito, yo soy oriundo de Chile. Yo nací en una ciudad en el norte de Chile que se llama Iquique, acá en el desierto. Acá la pueden ver en el mapita. And I grew up there, and then I went to vet school in Santiago de Chile, further down on the map. That's where I went to vet school. For whoever doesn't know, in Chile, you don't need to go to undergrad, to go to the university. You can jump straight from high school to vet school. So we don't have that thing that we have here in America for undergrad. People don't get in a huge amount of student loans like they do here in the US. Anyways, I went straight from high school to vet school. I spent 5 years in vet school in Santiago. And then after I graduated, I was like, I have no idea what I want to do. I started vet school with the idea of working with dogs and cats. First year in vet school, I realized I don't want to do this. And then I started liking horses. Entonces empecé a tratar de trabajar solamente con caballos en la universidad, y cuando salí de la universidad lo que quería hacer era ser un cirujano de caballos, an equine surgeon. Pero en Chile tratar de trabajar directamente con caballos recién graduados, sin tener contacto, sin tener dinero, etc., it's a pain in the ass. So I still wanted to work with horses at the time, but I needed to make money somehow. So I took a job in aquiculture. I worked I believe 2 years working in aquiculture. Basically, it's acuicultura en el sur de Chile. Tenemos un montón de salmoneras, un montón de centros de cultivo. Chile se caracteriza mucho por la producción mundial de salmón, trucha, etc. Entonces trabajé por creo que 1 año y medio, 2 años ahí, pero simplemente to save money, because I wanted to do something with horses, and in the back of my head I always wanted to leave Chile. So I did that. I saved money, and then at some point I was like, wait, okay, I think I have enough money, so I'm gonna quit this job. And then I just decided to enter my clinical adventure. I took an externship in the southern part of Chile in a Universidad Austral. I did a short, I believe it was 6 or 8 month internship in large animal. And after that, I took the big jump of deciding to go to North America. So, así que hice varias pasantías como por 6 o 8 meses en distintos hospitales de caballos en Canadá. Estuve trabajando en Ontario, en Saskatchewan, en Calgary, etc. Así que me estuve moviendo por varias partes haciendo pasantías en hospitales de caballos. And that was with the goal of trying to obtain letters of references and stuff like that from different board certified surgeons in order for me to be more eligible to apply to an internship. Because applying to internships as a foreign graduate with no experience, no good letters of reference, etc., it's pretty hard. You have 0.0001% chances of being accepted in an internship. Anyways, así que hice eso y terminé las pasantías, y después postulé a internados a través de lo que le llaman el matching program, que es lo mismo que hacen en medicina humana en Estados Unidos. Distintas universidades e instituciones abren postulaciones para internados y residencias de especialidad, y la gente postula y después se hace un proceso de matching y ahí ven dónde queda aceptado uno. And in my case, I was accepted for a large animal rotating internship in the University of Guelph in Ontario, which is it was such a good experience to have that done. But in between my externships and that specific internship, I got lucky and I was able to get a somehow short equine internship in California in a private hospital, and that was my first job ever in the United States, the first job that I got paid for. Now, el salario de internos acá en Estados Unidos no es la gran cosa. haciendo el cambio a plata chilena, sí, es muy bueno. Estamos hablando de promedio de 1 millón de pesos al mes. Pero esa plata acá vale callampa, no sirve mucho. Así que uno tiene que estar viviendo con lo que puede nomás, siendo un esclavo, siendo un goma, guardar plata, etc. But the experience was invaluable. I was very happy. I got a lot of experience. I worked my ass off, working 80, 100 hours a week, working as an intern in those 2 internships. And during that equine internship in Ontario, I was like, I'm not sure I actually want to be an equine surgeon. And I tell this to a lot of people. I'm like, I realized 2 main things. 1, I suck at surgery. I'm not very good at doing surgeries. And 2, I was like, I'm not really sure if I want this intense life. I do find like the life of equine practitioners is way more rough than other type of jobs like in small animal, etc. Don't get me wrong, different areas of veterinary medicine have different levels of complexity and stress, etc. And I was like, I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that. Así que mientras estaba haciendo ese internado me vi expuesto a lo que es radiología. Y empecé a cambiar el switch rápidamente. Yo quería volverme un radiólogo, etc. Así que después de ese internado en Guelph, yo me fui al estado de Oregon. Logré conseguir un trabajo era como una especie de asistente / fellow en un centro de medicina deportiva y rehabilitación en Equinos. Un lugar muy espectacular, se llamaba Northwest Equine Performance. Un muy buen grupo de gente. Empecé a vender un montón de resonancia magnética en las patas de los caballos. I was doing a lot of bone scans. I got very proficient in orthopedic ultrasound, x-rays, etc., lameness exams, etc. So that was a really cool thing. And during that period of time, I was still having in the back of my head, I want to become a radiologist. But I tried to apply during 2 years to residencies, etc. They keep saying, oh yeah, you are a good candidate for it, etc. But a lot of times I feel like the immigration was a huge barrier because a lot of places don't want to risk hiring foreign graduates that require visas unless you have a green card, etc. So that was my appreciation. Y cuando yo estaba en ese lugar, yo decidí dar el gran paso de prepararme para validar mi título profesional. Porque todos los trabajos a los que yo podría postular, no teniendo validado el título, serían trabajos de técnico o de asistente o de fellow, etc. Sin muy buena remuneración, etc. Entonces ese tipo de rutina de estar moviéndome para varios lados, etc. me empezó a dificultar la cosa. So I decided to pass all these annoying foreign graduate exams that we need to pass. I believe I'm gonna do another video going through the process of what that exam entails. But I spent about 1.5 years preparing for all these exams. And the good thing is that I decided to do the big jump of moving from large animal and equine medicine to small animal. Because during that period of time when I was preparing all these annoying exams, I took a job as an anesthesia and surgery technician in a very good specialty an emergency hospital in a small animal called Ocean Estates Veterinary Specialists in Rhode Island. So there I jumped straight from knowing nothing about small animal. I never touch a cat or a dog in the way that I will do things here in the US while I was in vet school. So this was the first job that I had in small animal. And was a pretty challenging thing at the beginning, but after a couple of months, I got like very proficient in anesthesia, in handling small animals, surgical stuff, etc. And that experience also helped me a lot para preparar todos los exámenes que yo iba a tener que estar pasando para tener una licencia. Una vez que logré pasar todos estos exámenes para sacar licencia en Estados Unidos, etc., me sentí tan bien. Fue como I accomplished something very big in the sense of being a foreign graduate and being able to pass all those exams. I feel like a lot of doors were open for me. I have a lot of possibilities to work in different places. And at that time, I was still kind of entertaining the idea of becoming a radiologist. And I thought that doing a small animal internship will help me a lot to do that. So I went back to do one more year of internship, another slave job, working terrible hours with a relatively decent pay, etc. But it was very worth it, because once I did that rotating small animal internships, rotating through different departments, neurology, surgery, internal medicine, general practice, you name it, I got a huge ton of experience. And after I finished that internship, I was like, dude, I can work anywhere. I'm the most powerful veterinarian in the world. That's how I felt, in the sense of being able to get a job somewhere. So after that, tomé un trabajo como emergenciólogo veterinario en un hospital súper grande en el estado de Massachusetts, que se llama Massachusetts Veterinary Referral Hospital. And there I worked for like a year and a half in a small animal. And at that time, I realized that, you know what, I'm done doing internships, I'm done doing training stuff. I don't think I want to do a residency. I also got married, I established a place, I don't want to move anymore, etc. So at the time, I was making good salary as an emergency veterinarian, and I decided to just stick with it. I'm gonna continue being an ER vet, because one, I really like it. I never thought I was gonna say this in my 5 years of vet school. I always thought I never gonna work with small animals, but here I am. I really enjoy the rhythm, the chaos, the stress, the friendships that you can get in an emergency room. Así que me gustó mucho ese ritmo de vida. Y después de trabajar un año y medio en ese hospital, me di cuenta de que hay otra opción de trabajo que se le llama Relief Veterinarian, en el que tú puedes trabajar para distintos hospitales sin tener un contrato de trabajo part-time o full-time. Y de esa forma controlo mejor mi horario, trabajo, igual sigo trabajando un montón, trabajo como 14, 20 turnos al mes, dependiendo de lo loco que esté y cuánta plata quiera hacer, pero también me permite controlar mis horarios, etc. Así que en eso estoy ahora. Soy un emergency relief veterinarian working for different emergency hospitals, and I couldn't be happy with where I am in this moment in my life. So I basically graduated 10 years ago. In 2015, got out of vet school. I have gone through all of these experiences, working in aquaculture with salmons and trouts, moving around North America, doing internships with horses, some of them cows. I have done 2 internships in equine medicine. I have done a fellowship in sport medicine and rehabilitation. I have worked as a small animal emergency surgery technician, doing anesthesias, etc. I did a small animal rotating internship. Now I'm an emergency veterinarian. So, simplemente quería contar esta historia. Muchas cosas de este canal van a estar enfocadas a eso, a hacer los contrastes de la vida del veterinario de aquí versus lo que significa estar en otros países, en Chile, Argentina, Brasil, etc. El objetivo es mostrar y ayudar a quien se pueda. Así que espero que les haya gustado el videito. Ahora, perdonen si hago mala edición, pero estoy aprendiendo a hacer videos. Que tengan muy buen día. Adiós.